Hey guys, it's JD. I was recently doing some research about the different states of waking consciousness, and it kind of gave me a bit of an epiphany, a little bit of a framework that I realized is being used all of the time, but there's not really a lot of explanation around the framework. So I wanted to share it with you guys real quick, just because while I didn't have these terms, this is essentially how I operate, and when I explain it to you, you realize that most people operate like this. So there's three primary states of active consciousness. One called introversion, the other one called diversion, and the third one presence. As its name suggests, inversion is you're thinking internally. It's paying attention to that voice in your head that some call an ego or a subconscious or whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. It's a focus on understanding your internal world. Diversion is when your consciousness is diverted away from you or presence towards something external, whether that's like watching a movie, listening to music, interacting with the outside world. And then presence is kind of, I think, the base state that all of us are usually in, at least in a sleeping state. But based on some of the research that I found, it seems like the bulk majority of people only spend about 10% of their time in this present state. And what this present state is being in the single moment, without thought, without labels, and without judgment. It's more of sensing. It's focused on awareness. It's feeling your body and the senses, the wind, the grass, the feelings, but without any labels or judgments to them. It's just clearing your mind of any thoughts and just allowing that moment to be, to unfold however it will. So I don't want to go so far as to say one is better than the other, but because it honestly depends on what your objective is, what you're trying to accomplish. I'm really big on being a conscious creator. While a lot in the spiritual space will convince you that your ego is bad, or not being enlightened or not quiet in your mind is a negative thing, personally I believe that we are all here with a very specific purpose, and our persona or our ego, if you will, is there to serve us. It's a child that we've created through which we can experience the world. The big issue comes when we are ruled by that subconscious, by that ego, and we identify as it, when in fact we're all so much more than that. The Monroe Institute and Bob Monroe and that camp love to say that, we are more than our physical body, and I want to let that resonate with you, that we are so much more than any of these just individual parts. So your subconscious or your ego is there for you to interact through and to use to consciously create. Now, using this introversion, presence, and diversion technique, it's understanding that inversion is paying attention to your thoughts. That's important to do, but without identifying. Because that can lead you to a sense of presence. When you focus introverted on that voice and you quiet and allow your brain frequencies not to have any interference of thought, which is just vibration. If you can introvert, calm down the voice, and then experience presence of just feeling your senses, and again, without any kind of talk or chatter or judgments or labels of it, you can use that as a pathway to find presence. And the same with the diversion. It's, you can divert your attention to the outside world, because that's how you can objectively observe it, again, but not identifying with it. So taking that diversion and then having a realization and awareness of that state will then allow you to bring yourself back to center, back to balance, back to a state of non-judgment, non-labels, where your body, whether it be your mind, physical body, or soul, can come into more of an alignment. And your brain, and all things really in the most fundamental form, are vibrations. And when you hear people talk about praying or meditating or even channeling, to be able to successfully do that, you have to stop the interference, that vibrational interference, so that you can receive whatever it is that's being provided. So using these altered states of introversion and diversion to as a gateway to presence, you can then stop that vibrational interference that we call thought and labels and judgments, and instead just be in that moment, to be in that moment, to just embrace that moment without any expectations and accept it as the only moment that truly exists. Because in all honesty, that's true. Your past is just your memories. It's non-physical. You can't touch it or feel it. You can just remember it, and your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what you're telling it's real. And then the future is just your imagination, things that you want to come true. And again, all of these have extreme value when utilized properly, but it all starts with understanding your conscious participation, your introversion, your diversion, and your presence. So I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that you find it helpful. If not, I just want to say thank you for being here. I really appreciate everybody here, and thank you for hearing me ramble. I love you, and we'll talk again soon.